What's up, everybody? It's your boy LA, aka the Audio Fiend. Today I'm going to be doing my first tutorial, and this tutorial is going to be based on chromatic scaling. And some of you are probably very familiar with that, and some of you might not be. It's that cool little way that the guys that use the MPCs change up the kick drums over the 808s, where it sounds like you could be playing it on the piano or something, where it goes from the boom boom boom. So that's what we call chromatic scaling. It can be done in the MPC. You can do it in a machine. I'm gonna do it on Reason, and I'm sure there's a lot of other units, hardware and software you can do it on. I first want to send a shout out to my boy Scorp Dizzle of Dizzle Music, my boy Caliber Taylor, my boy Big G. You know what I'm saying? These are the original 719 members, founders, and producers. We paved the way here in Colorado Springs, Colorado, back in 93, 94, 95. So I'm proud of our achievements, and I'm proud of Scorp for doing what he's doing with Young Buck, Young Jock, Twister, and Sibo, and a lot of other underground and commercial successful artists. Without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and get into this tutorial. Once again, like I said, this tutorial is based on a patch I made called the Scaler. It's a combinator patch for any and everybody that wants to know what I'm doing and how I did it. So first thing I want to do is we're going to go to Reason and create a new blank file, as you can see. And first thing I want to do is create a mixer 14.2, okay? And let's tab around so we can make sure that connected properly, and it did. Then we want to create, and make sure you hold down shift while creating the next few instruments or devices. We want to create a combinator, so go ahead and hold down shift and then create a combinator and tab it around, make sure it didn't hook up, okay? Now inside the combinator screen there at the bottom there, where you see the red highlighted line there, go ahead and we're going to start creating instruments inside of there. The first instrument we're going to create, or the first device we're going to create, is going to be a redrum. So shift, right click, create. We're going to do a redrum. Shift, right click, or create, however way you get to that faster. We're going to create a Thor, if I can find it. Okay, there's a Thor. Same thing again, right click, create. We're going to create a Spider CV merger splitter. Underneath that, we're going to create. We're going to do a arpeggiate monophonic arpeggiator. We're going to also, just for making something extra there, we never know what we might need, because I'm typically that type of guy. Let's go ahead and create a NNXT. Okay, shift, right click, create NNXT. Okay, by default the NNXT loads a B grand piano. So first thing we want to do here, because we're trying to create a chromatic scaled 808 or any instrument. Don't just think this is a 808, you got to use this technique toward. This is a great technique for doing a lot of things where you can chromatically scale them, and I mean you can make some beautiful stuff with it. The track you heard that was first started playing, that 808 on there, and the melodic line was all played just holding down some chords with this patch that I'm building. Okay. All right, so what we want to do now is we want to go to the combinator where it says combi out or combi output, and let's go ahead and connect that into channel 1 of the main mixer. Okay. And something we didn't do, let's go ahead and get this done now. The way I always seem to forget this. It doesn't matter where you click inside the combinator. I typically click at the top, so I'll click the redrum, for example, and let's go ahead and shift right click and we're going to create a line mixer 6.2. Okay, that's the little bitty guy. And like always, sometimes it won't create inside the combinator, so I'll just drag it back inside the combinator. I'm going to put it at the top of my redrum inside the combinator. Okay, and at this point, this is what I want to do. I'm going to, and we're going to work in this order. So first thing we want to do is now take the line mixer that we just created, and let's hook that into the from devices slots or sockets inside the combinator. And then we want to take the redrum stereo outs, or I'm sorry, the redrum send outs, and we're going to hook those to audio in of the line 6 mixer, and you got to hook those up manually. The next thing I want to do is connect the audio outputs of the Thor into channel 2 of the line mixer, and then we're going to hook up the NNXT. Do the same thing here. Now in this particular tutorial, we're not going to do anything in the combinator programmer, but there's reasons for things that you got to understand that are going to take place, so please follow along carefully. I want you to go down now and click on the RPG8, make sure it's highlighted in blue. Right click and go down to where it says create track for ARP1. Something that needs to be said right now, if you guys are working in version 4, Reason 4, and it starts crashing on you when you do this, it's because you need to go get the update that just came out for Reason. I'm sorry, actually, if you're working in Reason 5 and you didn't go get the update and you create that ARP track and it crashes on you or it freezes up, you need to go to propellerheads.se and go to support and download for Reason 5, and you'll see a version called Reason 5.1 or 5.01, I think it is. Okay, so let's keep this moving. So the next thing we want to do is take the gate output of channel 10, and we're going to place that into our Spider CV split socket on the split A side. Okay, and then we're going to take the RPG8 Note CV, and we're going to put that in the Spider split B side. Okay, now we got multiple options to route these Note CVs and gates, and here's the reason why I'm doing this. We're going to take the split A, which if you remember we connected to the redrum channel 10, and it's the gate. That's where we're going to get our gate events. That's your on and off events. And we're going to route that directly to the Thor gate. And then we're going to go to the split B, and we're going to go and connect the socket of split B output 1. And we're going to put that into our CV. Okay. And at this point in time, what we're doing here, just to kind of sum up real quickly, is that we're sending our note or our on and off information from channel 10 of our redrum. Okay. And then we're getting our note, our melodic melodies, or whatever you want to call them, the transposing or the chromatic scaling from our RPG8. Okay. And if you remember, we created a track lane for the ARP1. Okay. And you're going to see why a little short here. So at this point in time, if I was to push play, we hear nothing. Reason why we hear nothing, if you recall, channel 10 is where we're receiving our gates. So while that's playing, I'm just going to stick some notes in there. Okay. Or I'm going to stick some gate events in there. Nothing real fancy. Okay. And one reason is because of the patch that we got selected on the Thor. So at this time, I want everybody to either click into the instrument window or click on the browser button. Either way, it doesn't matter. And now make sure when you're in the browsing window of the Reason that over here where it says show, make sure if you click that drop down menu, it'll give you two options. It'll give you the option to browse for the current device patches. So that means whatever patch or whatever device you're trying to browse for, or it'll let you search all instruments. Make sure that says Thor patches. Okay, so if that was an NNXT, we would want to search for NNXT patches. Okay, but in this case, we're doing Thor. And up here in the window, we're going to say search for. Type in 808 BD. Okay, it should look just like mine. Go ahead and find, and you'll see the only patch 808BD Thor. Go ahead and select that. You can double click or highlight it and then click OK. All right, now let's play back that rhythm I was just playing. Okay, you hear these little kind of like clicks. Okay, what's going on there is the gate CVs of the channel 10 is triggering the 808 or the Thor in this case. You can see that light flashing, and if you also look at the Spider CV, you notice that it's flashing at the same time. Well, remember we routed the channel 10 gate out into that one first, and then we ran it back to the Thor. And the reason why is because we're gonna hook up the NNXT a little later, so we needed to have the ability to split that gate signal more than one way. Okay, so now at this time, if you got that sequence running and you're doing your thing, okay, let's turn this up a little bit. I'm gonna turn that up a little bit, fellas. Hopefully I'm not blowing out your speakers. Okay, at this time I'm gonna hold down. Well, actually, we need to do a couple of things here. Go back down to the RPG8. Let's change a couple of dials here on the RPG8. First of all, we want to go to octave where it says that, and put that on 2 octaves. Then hit 442 in for your insert, and on the mode knob here, go ahead and select up and down. And then on our rate, we want 1/8. Okay. Now, what's going to happen here is when we trigger the ARP, make sure your ARP lane is highlighted, because that right there says that lane is going to receive your MIDI controller notes. So when we do that, here's what you're going to hear. Kind of cool, huh? The stuff that they do on the MPCs on the regular. I mean, you can set it up to where you got your rhythmic, because one thing you got to remember with this, where you're getting your rhythmic pattern from is your channel 10 from your redrum. It's sending out the gate event, so it's playing the rhythm, the steps, but the pitch information is being generated by the RPG8, which is being connected to the Thor CV. Okay, so we have to remember this, that if you want to change up the pitch, it's not going to be on the redrum. You can do a little bit of octave changing on the 808, which is the Thor, but you want to make the RPG8 your focal point for where you're going to do your note variation. So if you want to do some real tricky pitches and stuff like that, keep the focal point of your chromatic scale changes at the RPG8. If you're a little more advanced and you know what to do with the Thor and stuff, then that's great. But this is just really for beginners, novices who's probably been dying to figure out how to get that MPC chromatic scaling that those guys do with the pads and stuff. So I discovered this, so I wanted to share this with people. It's been many years, and because other people from Propeller Heads and other sites such as GW Childs, James Bernard of propellerheads.se, Kirk Hirosaki, aka Pef, at pef.com. All these guys shared this knowledge with us over the web, and I've bought their books and everything and read it, diligently, and became a Reason fanatic. And because I had to learn some of this stuff, and and it took years to learn how to do some of this, I wanted to share it with you guys. So I hope you have fun with it. Once again, I'll bring back up the track that I actually made with them, the 808 chromatic scaling. And once again, like I said, you can try and hook up any instrument. It doesn't matter. Just Remember how the routing goes. Save the template and use it on any instrument you want to. Have fun.